What up? What up? What up, world? We're back. It's Get Right Fantasy Football. I'm here with my main man, Frankie Furter. What's up, Frankie?
Hello, what's up, peoples? Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo is here. We're getting down a special edition of our Friday night mocks. This was the Monday night edition. It was check out the shirt there. This is our special draft. We finally got all three of us together. This was by private invite only. It wasn't posted anywhere. This was just kind of all the originals kind of drafting against us, all of our regulars. And so we hope you like what you see. So without any further ado, let's roll those sleeves up and grade some drafts. So we got the draft board pulled up. My guy Frank here has the number one pick, FishinFrank. You went running back first in the 101. Usually that spot's taken for Mahomes. But you went with McCaffrey, and then followed by two quarterbacks, and then two more running backs with Gordon and Gaskins. And then you hit those three receivers, got your tight end, went for that third quarterback, and then filled out your bench there. So again, I think you had the right strategy. I think you could have made different picks with different guys. So your strategy, I give you an A. Execution, I give you not so much an A. But overall, I'm kind of sitting at a C- for you. So I'm not going to nitpick you.
No, I understand.
I think you could do better.
I could have did better, and I did mess up and instead of taking Kirk Cousins, I should have took Matt Ryan. I think that's the only one of the only missteps I took. I think that the rest of the team I'm very comfortable with. I'd be happy to go into the league with these guys, especially with this 14-team Superflex. At that point, I knew I wanted to get my top quarterbacks in early because it was going to get very scarce very quickly with the two added teams that we've normally been doing 12 teams. But overall, I felt like a good B because I ended up, getting Gronk really late. I got Jonnu Smith at the end, another flyer tight end. I think it'd be a start of this year. Tariq Cohen really late. But the Robert Woods, Brandon Ayuk, and Will Fuller for my wide receivers, I think are solid. Along with McCaffrey. I mean, you can't go wrong with McCaffrey, Gordon, and Gaskin. I think I love the team honestly.
He has those drafting goggles on, but I respect it. Now you know how it is. It's just, again, like you said, there's some things that could have been different. Like I said, to get your grade up, with me, there was a crucial little area where you made a little mistakes, and that's why you just dropped down. You're on the show, man. I hold you to a high standard. You guys judge these guys. You judge these guys hard. I'm gonna judge you hard. I thought I went pretty nice on you though.
C's while we're chatting it up.
Yeah, dude. They, they were waiting for me to tear you up, so I was still pretty nice. They're probably gonna disagree, but let us know, guys.
So we're gonna move on. Let's get on to PapaConks. Last draft, he had the first pick. Now he's at number 2. Again, another return guy here. Thank you for supporting the channel here. We're trying to get some things started. Hopefully, we could get some content that you guys enjoy and something that you can get out of it as well to hopefully win your league. Obviously that's our goal here.
And he's a friend of AwkwardSharkDad. Actually, he invited him in, and ended up subscribing to the show. So that's how we're gonna grow, guys. So we really appreciate that word of mouth.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's good stuff. So he took Mahomes right off the bat as his first pick, as I passed on Mahomes. So, I mean, hey, you got to take the best available, right? DeAndre Swift, Matt Ryan, Travis Etienne. So he went with the same type of strategy that I did, 2 QB, 2 RB in the first 4 picks. It sets up your team pretty well. Kittle, again, Anthony loves him. He is a wide receiver 1, basically, in all essence. I'm just not comfortable taking tight ends that early, but it's still a good pick regardless. Kenny Galladay, Chase, and Judy. I'm not too fond of Chase and Judy, but, we'll see what Chase does. Let's see what happens in Cincinnati with him. He does have a good quarterback, Joe Burrow. Jerry Judy could be having Aaron Rodgers throw to him, so who knows? Maybe that's even a better pick that I'm projecting. I like where he took Trey Lance way late. that's where you take a rookie quarterback like that. You don't take him early, especially for a guy who may not even be starting, and he may not start till late in the season, if at all. He might still take a backseat to Jimmy G. So that's why it doesn't hurt him to take him that late. So, you know, I don't mind it. You know, you've rounded out with Samuels, White, Brown, and Edwards. I overall gave him a good solid B on that. You know, I thought it was a pretty decent team.
Yeah, right there with you. I give him a B. As far as a 14 team Superflex, I think he executed pretty well. You know, RB2, you know, obviously in a split backfield, but he got the, you know, third down and kind of catching back, so to speak, in that backfield, as far as how, you know, he's already come out and said he wants to use them. Again, got top talent with Kittle, like you said, you know, good potential in those wide receivers, you know, with some good depth in Samuel and Antonio Brown. And again, another passing back in James White. So
yeah,
that's what happens when you take a tight end early. Anyway, moving on.
Exactly. And see what I mean by that. You know what I mean? Even that,
Yeah,
get sold on it, because we're running back heavy guys, and it just, you know, you just need more of them. Period.
yeah, early and often.
Yeah,
So we got them boys, DC for life. Again, private invite. You know, he was going to be here. Gets the 103, takes Barkley, then goes Brady, Mixon, Winston. I think he went a little early with Winston. You know, we usually normally see him go kind of in that QB3 range. Yeah, kind of in that 8, 9, 10 kind of area. But again, when you see in a 14-team league, when quarterbacks are coming off, you know, like they were, again, grab this guy. I think, you know, getting him down there is way too late anyway. I wouldn't be shocked in actual drafts. We see him go this high, especially with, you know, all of us knowing how we draft together.
Yeah. And
then again,
stack with Michael Thomas.
Yeah. So stacks it with Thomas as his wide receiver 1, then Cup and Lockett. Very solid there. You know, RB3 is a little lacking, being just a handcuff. You know, usually in that RB3 spot, you at least want a starting running back, not a handcuff. You want somebody that you could, you know, play every week, potentially. Then goes, you know, Mac Jones. I don't think that's a bad pick there. As far as QB3, you know, he could potentially be starting towards the end of the year or when you need him for a bye week. Get some, you know, nice little backup here with Gallup and Tooney. As far as wide receivers go, nice little tight end late with Thomas, and you know, gets Tyler Johnson here as a backup running back. So running backs are lacking a little bit. It's probably one of the worst drafts I've seen them boys do.
Yeah.
But again, it was 14 teams. You know, so all things considered, I still gave him, B minus.
Yeah, I was right there, literally right there with you. B minus. Thomas could be a boomer bust guy. It's, you know, it's him for, you know, take the reins and show that he can be the tight end over there or not. And that's kind of his weakest point, along with the running backs. And again, it just kind of, you know, it's 14 team just makes it that much tougher. I agree with you. I would have waited on Tony Pollard till, you know, 3-4 more rounds. I don't think anybody was going to take him up there. He could have got a better running back at that point, or even just another RBBC that's in a committee that actually scores more consistent points than Pollard does. He does have his moments, but, you know, that's where we're at. Moving on to NYG guy. Again, another returning guy, staple to this channel. Thank you for being with us. You know, he started off with Josh Allen. Najee Harris, I really like this guy, and Gibson as well. But then, anyways, goes Carson and then ends up with David Carr. And I think that's where he kind of messed up as far as I'm concerned. He could have took, you know, a better quarterback there and skipped on David Carr. But he ends up with 3 solid running backs, you know what I mean? But, you know, he's kind of weak on quarterback now because he did pick up a third. Didn't take a flyer on another guy, which could have helped this team out. Thielen, Brandon Cooks, Claypool, you know, good wide receiving core, you know, pretty decent, at least going there. Bateman coming up, you know, bringing the end, Philip Lindsay, and Gesicki. I like where he took him so late. That's a pretty decent tight end. Murray and Henry, another flyer at the last pick. which, you know, kind of saving him right there on the tight end part of it. But again, just that Carr Thielen area is where I thought he lost me. And he ended up with a C+ on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of down there with you on this one. NYG guy maybe got caught up in the chat or something there, or again, sometimes when you're in that 14 team, if you don't make that, you know, switch over in your head or really reading the draft, it can kind of sneak up on you. And you know, because I think instead of going Gibson, you could probably take like a Jalen Hurts or even a Ben Roethlisberger there, and then still get Carson there in that
Later on
spot
in the
and
fourth,
be
yeah.
looking good. And then, you know, follow that up with another running back there. You know, somebody like a Mostert, a James Robinson, or even a Kareem Hunt. And I think that team could have turned out a lot better. So, you know, again, just that's what we're going to do. We're going to let you guys know the advice. Doesn't mean it's going to be right. But again, as far as, you know, trying to construct that team,
That's right.
hindsight, hindsight 2020. You know, when you can see how things end up laying out, you just kind of want to, you know, have that experience with you heading into your real drafts. So moving on, we have Calbeck. Ethan, what's up, my man? Shout out to you here. Thanks for jumping in. He went with kind of like a little zero QB strategy. Like I said, I always love when someone does it. He goes Henry and then 2 top wide receivers and Diggs and Brown, followed up with Mayfield and Zach Wilson. So still ends up kind of pulling it off. I kind of really like that. Ends up with Ronald Jones as your RB2, which is kind of what you expect if you kind of go with this type of strategy. Then goes with Sutton and Waddle. And you can see how the team just kind of starts, you know, I don't want to say dying off because those are, you know, not bad, you know, backup wide receivers at all. Snags Jimmy G late. You know, we all know that. I love Irv Smith. Like the Gainesville pick. Could be a nice, you know, third down back there with Sanders. And, you know, then kind of tails off. So overall, I kind of gave him a C-. Maybe I can bump it up to about a C+, but my initial thoughts are C-.
I see. You're a little bit rougher than I was. I was on the C+ side. You know, again, I'm not happy with the QBs. Baker Mayfield was doing pretty decent. Zach Wilson, you know what I mean? Just rookie wide receivers, just, you know, rookie quarterbacks worry me because they make a lot of mistakes, and you got to really pick them. If you get the right one, then they're great. If you don't, you got an average season at best. He's backing up with Jimmy G. Let's hope he holds his job. He might lose it to Trey Lance, and then what do you got? Nothing. Irv Smith, great pick, way late like that. But again, that's why you end up with the C+. Still try to give you some props because the top picks and the way he were trying to run that. But in a 14-team league, I think it's almost impossible to end up with decent quarterbacks that late trying to do a no RB strategy.
Yeah, but good try. A for effort.
Yeah, for sure. Vanswey.
Nice. Vanswey. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Oh, I didn't know he was a returner. It's the first time I've seen his name.
Oh, yeah. This is private invite. This was private invite only.
Oh,
so
nice.
These are all people that have drafted with us before multiple times. So I think everybody in here has at least drafted with us two or more times. So,
nice.
So yeah, so we have Vanswey, yeah. So we have him back. Little redemption. I think we're a little rough on him in one of the previous ones, and I kind of might be rough on him here again. I gave
he's not gonna like my grade.
Yeah, I gave my man a D. Unfortunately, here. Yeah. So he's rocking that D.
Oh, by the way, guys, we don't share our grades prior. We want to have an objective opinion. I don't look at Anthony's grades, and he doesn't look at mine until we're doing the show. So, you know, I don't want to be influenced by how he's judging it. So that way we both get, you know, a fair judgment of what we're thinking. And I literally gave him a D as well. Anyways, moving on.
No, and I'm right there with you. And not so much just because of the whole D for Deshaun thing, but he has a serious possibility that he's walking into this season literally with only one quarterback, and that to me is not a smart, way to walk into the fantasy. Or obviously when you're doing your real drafts, you're probably going to have more information. But again, if you were drafting right now today for like a dynasty or something like that, you can't.
Even this redraft league, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson may or may not play. Drew Lock is likely to lose his job. He literally ends up with Kyler Murray at quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's face it, that's really what we're looking at, even as of today. Deshaun Watson probably is not playing, and Drew Lock is probably losing his job.
Yeah. Other than that, it's not too bad. I mean, I kind of, I like Ridley. DJ Chark is kind of growing on me again. Juju could, come or go.
Yeah.
Not very solid on the backup running backs, but I like Rager and I really like Beasley. I think Beasley was probably his best pick overall in the 13th. So he's one of those sleepers, especially in a 14-team league. I don't think he's come up in a 12-team, but in a 14-team league, I think he has some great value. Look where Josh Allen's going. He's throwing to somebody.
Yeah, but that's straight up a D. It doesn't matter. Those quarterbacks, just you can't save the league like you can't save this team. You could try to trade off, but you're going to be lacking, and compared to the other teams, you're going to be losing.
Definitely. All right, so we're at the almost at the halfway point here with Nee. Welcome back. Obviously been with us multiple times here. Starts off, pretty kind of solid. Again, we've talked about the Trevor Lawrence as your QB1. Again, it could go either way. Goes early on receiver. Right. It could go early with Hopkins and McLaurin. We're big on him. But he kind of loses me here with Zach Moss as his RB2. Trey Sermon's kind of a little sleeper. I didn't think he would go this early. I was kind of interested in getting him late, especially
I would have waited till like the last pick.
Exactly, but he took him here at the 7-7. So Lavishka, he's good. I like the Fitzpatrick.
Maybe he knows something we don't know. So unless losing his job.
Hey, I like it. As a Niner fan, I like it.
Yeah.
Corey Davis, AJ Dillon, and then caps it off with 2 tight ends as the last 2 picks. I'm definitely a fan of that. My only thing is I'd only take 1 instead of 2. I wouldn't even waste a spot on the second. I barely want to waste 1 on 1. I just have to. And so I gave my boy Nee here. I actually gave him a A-. I don't know why. I think I might have been off. I think I'm leaning more towards B-. I might have been a little.
I went
up there.
Yeah. I'll just recap what I think that happened here. Didn't happen again. Trey Lawrence, boomer bust. He could win the league or not. I'm not too fanciful on Darnold either. He needs to show that he can do it over there in Carolina. It helps that he has CMC over there, but it's still not sold it to him produce his points. I just think he's weak at the tight end and weak at the quarterback, and because of that, C+. All
right, so we got Schmanky. Schmanky's back. Schmanky 13. He knew what was going on in a 14-team Superflex. He grabbed his 2 quarterbacks immediately, and Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow.
I like that.
Yeah, the only thing here, I think he probably should have went running back here.
Yeah.
Should have went Akers instead of Metcalf.
Yeah.
Ends up with Jacobs as his RB1. Robinson, would have been fine as his wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Had he done that,
he would have been happy.
And, you could just see how that team could have just turned out a lot better there.
It kind of fell apart right there, right? That's where I was at. It was like the week RB kind of lost it to me. DK Metcalf and Allen Robinson are shining, but Jacobs and Williams, and who did he end up with? Carter down here. That's really weak. That's what I literally wrote, weak on RB.
Yeah, definitely weak on RB, and how that's going to happen for us. So I got my guy. I wasn't trying to grade people too hard, man. It's a 14-team league, so I had him down at a C-.
I
didn't quite want to go D.
I was a little nicer than you.
Really? Oh, okay. See, it's because you like that tight end pick probably there. You like that tight end. I don't like Mark Andrews early like that. I don't care.
I don't mind Mark Andrews.
I
You
wish
know,
you would have
some of
taken
these
another
other
running
picks,
back there.
they're hopefuls. You know, even like Hinkie. I mean, you know, taking a QB3
He
flyer
could have
on.
took James Conner there. That would have been a lot better.
Yeah,
You know, he could have taken even David Johnson would have been better. At least he's getting the ball
yeah.
and scoring
So that's
touchdowns.
why you
So
see plus. And honestly, as I was looking at everybody, it kind of averages out almost to a C plus for grade. I always get it, but
all right, so moving on. We got a awkward shark dad. Usually comes out with a nice draft. I have him at a B plus. I think he executed pretty well with Herbert, Aaron Jones, Akers, and Tua in his top four. Gets two great receivers and Allen and Godwin. Follows that up with once he has all the starters in place. And again, I didn't mention tight end. He goes for that QB3 in Justin Fields. Could be starting again. Andy Dalton's there. I probably would have preferred maybe Daniel Jones there, knowing he's going to be the starter. And after that, I mean, I like the Pittman pick. Landry's decent. Madison's a handcuff, and then tries to get some potential running backs. Lotto tickets. Which, if you're going to get some lotto tickets, I love me some running backs. Find
yeah,
that next James Robinson. There's going to be one.
for sure. I mean, I honestly gave him an A. He's the only guy. Well, I got an A out of there, aside from myself. I think that Justin Herbert, Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, and Tua to start off are solid. I mean, you got two quarterbacks, two solid running backs, and then he followed up with two solid wide receivers in Keenan Allen and Chris Godwin. Took a flyer on Justin Fields. That's where you take the late, rookie quarterback. I feel that's a good area to take him. Baby Gronk, TJ Hawkinson over there for the tight end. Would I like to see another tight end? Yeah, instead of Mattinson, like, you're saying, or, but, taking Pittman and Hubbard as flyers at the end there, I give him an A because of that.
There it is. All right. So moving on. We got a return drafter here. Return A plus drafter, actually, trying to defend his A plus title. At least that I gave him last time. So we'll see what happens this time.
What's his full name?
Riding around in a rover.
Oh, that's right. I remember that name.
Yeah, you remember him. So he had a nice draft. So what'd you give him this time?
Kamara, Stafford, and then Kelsey. I'm not a fan of taking those tight ends that high. That's why I'm liking them a little bit later. But CEH, DJ Moore, Cooper, CEH weak for running back to 2. I mean, and then he ends up with Danny Jones, and then he ends up taking 4 QBs and Teddy Bridgewater and then Mills. I thought he was like compensating because he felt pretty weak in that Daniel Jones part, and then he ends up taking altogether 4 quarterbacks. I ended up giving him a C because of that. He could have just filled out his team a lot better because of that, and I think other people are going to be having a better depth in more positions than he does, and he's only got depth in quarterback, and it's not good depth. So C as it is.
There you go. I gave him a B minus. I didn't quite back up the A plus draft, but I think he did, pretty decent. Love the top of the draft. Again, even going Kelsey. I don't like so much, the pairing of the, Kelsey and Edwards, but again, if you're going to grab people in an offense, why not Kansas City? Okay with the wide receivers. Decent with Daniel Jones. I'm fine with him as a QB2. I like the fact that he's the only one that actually grabbed 4 QBs and went with the chance of Davis Mills being the potential quarterback there in Houston. Over Tyrod Taylor. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I just kind of gave him a B minus. I still think the top half of his draft will score enough points to make up for any deficit down below. And honestly, you don't really need your bench to win the championship. You need a strong starting lineup, but you do need that depth to get you into the playoffs. So I think he does that. And again, I wouldn't really want to see that lineup
I think
in the playoffs.
CEH and Daniel Jones is what, as far as the starters, is what's hurting them now.
We'll see.
Opinion.
All right. So moving on.
We got
So
number
again, thanks
11
for coming out. Yeah, so we got the Chargers. The Chargers coming out again. He's had some pretty good drafts with us before. So he's coming out, and I gave him a C plus. Again, 14 team leagues. It's it's kind of rough out there. But I'll kind of let you know why. And it's basically the running backs. I mean, he kind of saves it with the Mike Davis pick. But I don't give him credit for that because we all know that I picked Mike Davis. I just had a glitch, but I actually took him there.
Oh yeah.
At
That's
the
what you were trying to
801
say
spot.
when he did try to
Yeah.
get.
So I told
Well,
him I put the name out there.
He did take Mike Davis. So sorry.
Yeah. And so as
Sorry,
soon as
not
I
sorry.
said that, he ended up taking him. So again, I'm not going to personally give him credit for that. So other than that, I kind of pretend like he doesn't even have him there. For the most part, you see the other running backs that went off the board after him, which was the Pollards, the Singletaries, the Michael Carters, Madison, David Johnson. If he had one of those guys there instead of Mike Davis, his team would be down. So sorry about that, Chargers. I know you're right out here down the street from me, but is what it is. Sorry about it.
I was a lot nicer to Chargers. I gave him a B plus. He was up there for me because of Nick Chubb, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts. I like this Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb.
He only has 2 QBs.
Huh?
He only has 2 QBs. How do you get a B if you only get 2 QBs?
He got 3 QBs, mind you, and
he has the backup to Kirk Cousins.
The QBs that he does are going to be just fine for him, along with the running backs and the tight ends, the running backs and wide receiver he has. What he's weak on is the only tight end that he picked up was Dallas Goedert, and that's why he got a B plus. Had he got a better tight end, I think I would have rounded him up to a full on A or even A plus possibly. But Darrell Henderson, what are you doing there? Mond, I like as the last flyer pick. Tyler Boyd, Higgins, I like the majority of his team, and I like how he constructed it. Honestly, I think it came out pretty well. Just the tight end is the weakest point, I think, to me, and B plus, solid.
Nah.
What's the name?
Give it to him. I like it. All right. So moving on, we got here in the 12th spot, we got Shelby. Shout out to Shelby here, one of our original subscribers. So we appreciate that. So she started off here and went with the wide receiver approach, grabbed up the 2 best receivers in the draft, and Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. Backs that up with Roethlisberger and Goff as her 2 quarterbacks. Then grabs her 2 running backs and Kareem Hunt and Lombardi Lenny. And then the steal of the draft, Kyle Pitts. There, and then I think she might have went on an auto draft from here because it looks very auto drafty from here. So I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think she went on an auto draft. She might have had to leave, but again, we appreciate her for coming out. So I'm going to give the top half of her draft. I'm going to give that a B minus. I'm going to give the bottom half of her draft there from Todd Gurley down. I'm going to give that a solid D.
And see, that's where I averaged it out to a solid C. Solid C for her. I think she found out late that it was a 2 super flex league, so she ended up like rushing to get these 2 quarterbacks and Ben Roethlisberger and Jared Goff. Again, you mentioned she took the 2 top wide receivers. However, I do believe if Drew Brees is gone, Deontay Adams is going to be moving down to a wide receiver 2 to me, just because of the quarterback situation over there in Green Bay. You're going to have a rookie quarterback throwing to you, and it's just going to spell trouble. But she did. If she is the one that picked up Kyle Pitts, where she took Kyle Pitts, I think that's an excellent point to take him. And I like the running backs in Kareem Hunt and Leonard Fournette. So if you take her starting lineup, as you mentioned earlier, that's what wins you the league anyway. So she's got the wide receivers, running backs, basically up until that pick where Kyle Pitts is at. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. The bench is what's weak beyond there, and the rest of the picks, and that's why I ended up giving it a C. But honestly, now that I'm looking at it more, I might even move her up to like a C plus a B, just because again the starting lineup is solid enough that who cares about these bench guys?
Yeah, if you can make it in, as long as you make it there, you don't want to see that lineup in the playoffs. Again, the only weakness you could say is running backs. But again, I think the potential in those wide receivers, you just add those extra points,
I
and
mean,
consider those the two running backs,
taking
and I think
Gurley,
you're
who's not
fine.
on the team. Mitchell, who's another running back in San Francisco that picked up that behind who was it? The other guy that somebody else picked
Yeah,
up. That, like,
Sermon and
sorry, I'm
Mostert.
like, come on,
So
you got Mostert over there. He's
and
gonna,
Jeff Wilson. Yeah,
yeah,
so that's why I said I think it was some kind of auto draft that
something.
probably went on down there. So,
Yeah. So moving
you
on
know,
to her.
she normally
Thank
does
you for
good
joining late, and thank you for participating. We appreciate that. And we appreciate the support.
for sure. All
So
right,
now
so
we got our boy.
we
What?
got just basically trash. We can move on to the best draft. We have Rastafarian.
Yeah, I will review the team real quick. We got Elliott, Lamar, Sanders, and Newton. So he did go 2 RB, 2 QB. I don't like the Cam Newton pick. That dude may or may not keep his job this year.
Right.
So, I would have been happier with a different quarterback there. But at that point, it was getting very scarce. So you got to take what's available. Backed it up with another running back in Mostert. So he's got 3, solid RBs. Evans and Beckman, Odell could come back this year. Who knows what happens with that guy. I like Evans, but that's where he's kind of weak at, is the wide receiver department. Noah Fant, you guys like him. I could do without that guy. He still got to show it to me. But if Aaron Rodgers shows up there, maybe that's a solid pick right there. I give him an overall C, just because he needs to draft better. Like you're saying.
Yeah, I should
also higher standards.
exactly, and because of that, I should give him an F. Just because that Cam Newton pick was trash for the most part, and same thing with Kenyon Drake. But no, I gave him a C minus. But that's again just because he doesn't have a third QB. His QB2's pretty weak. Like you said, may not even start all year.
Third QB, you don't like Trask?
No, I mean he's the backup to Tom Brady. So, I mean, he's not seeing the field. So, I mean, barring injury. So, he's potentially, looking at and again, like we said, his playoff lineup could potentially only consist of Lamar Jackson. He might have to be starting somebody else in his Superflex spot when it comes to playoff time. Unless he's able to pull off a trade.
That's why he ended up with the C, because maybe he could trade off some pieces. Like, you're always fond of trading people and whatever.
He has nothing to trade.
He's got
Nobody
running
wants
backs.
those
He could trade off
trash-ass
for
players.
Mostert. He could even trade off Sanders and start Mostert or Drake.
I'll trade him Mostert, and that's about it.
See, there you go. So as long as you trade Mostert,
I'll give him Jordan Love for Mostert, and that's all I'll do.
There you go. It's a starting quarterback over.
Let me know if you take that trade.
And Rodgers leaves. You got a starting quarterback over there. So I'll start off with your team. We're moving on to Rastafarian, taking Russell Wilson as the #1 pick. Started with Jonathan Taylor, running back, who's now in a committee. Something's going on over there.
No way. That's the guy you've been saying is your RB1.
Dobbins, he's decent.
He is the RB2 on his team. I'll give you that.
Yeah. You got Wentz. I'm not too crazy about Robinson, RBBC now. Jones, getting old. Connor, I like your pick. Williams, I really don't care.
That should be Mike Davis, by the way.
Oh, that's the Mike Davis pick. That's where it went. Mike Davis should have been there. Not if you had taken Mike Davis, I would have given you way more credit for that. At that point, I think you got flustered in it with Robbie Anderson and Deebo Samuel. You could have waited on Robbie Anderson. I like Deebo Samuel.
Then I pulled a quarterback out of thin air.
Jones, and then he finally took Komet, tight end at the end. He thinks that he's going to be his whisper guy for the year. And Komet there in Chicago, I'm betting against him and Dallas Goedert. You got a gentleman's bet on that guy.
Yeah, gentleman's bet on the board.
Because of that, again, another C. I mean, I literally gave average scoring because it is 14-team league. It is scarcity becomes, necessity and whatever. You know what I mean? Because somebody's taking these guys and that guy is not available. You're trying to pick best available for your position and try to stick to your strategy, which is difficult at times. So I think a solid C. You got potential, but I think you always set up your teams to trade, and I think that's what you end up doing and change half these guys. Honestly, I really don't think you would run this season with the core that you have right now.
You know me all too well, Frank. You know me all too
That's
well.
why I still give you a C, because you're gonna already get rid of these guys anyway.
I never get those good draft grades because I don't draft my team according to, their projections based on that same team during the whole season. Because, like you said, I know I'm not going to have those same guys. So
you're not even going to be there later on anyway. So why even look at them, right?
exactly. I'm trying to get guys that other people wanted. So I'll group them up and try to improve my starting lineup. So, I'll take like a Carson Wentz and a James Robinson and maybe like a Debo, try to turn that into like a Roethlisberger or a Stafford or something like that.
Yeah,
something
you
like
can
that.
move up to Joe Burrow even maybe.
Joe Burrow, yeah, something like that. I would be definitely making some moves. So anyway, so that was it. Special edition. That was a Monday night mock special. So thanks for everybody that came out and joined us. We really appreciate the support, really growing the channel. Don't forget about the Listener League. For those of you that don't know, in order to qualify, check out our Twitter. The rules are there. You got to participate in 3 of our mock drafts and just get 3 friends to subscribe to the channel. Let your fantasy friends know about us. Help us grow our little channel here. And you can get in and have your chance to play against us. So we'll have more details, running out as we go. But it'll be a fun, nice league, and we're all looking forward to it. Coming, we can roll those sleeves down, gentlemen. We're out.
Peace out.